So finally, after all this time, I don't know how long we've all been waiting for this game at this point, but we finally have got a launch date for XDefiant, May 21st. Less than 3 weeks from now, we will all be playing XDefiant, as it will be launching on the Xbox Series X and S, the PlayStation 5, and on PC. They've done a bit of a blog post, so I'm going to read through everything that they've talked about because there is actually a few little tidbits of news on top of the launch date as well. And so without wasting any time, let's get stuck right into it. Now, the blog post starts off by saying, soon is getting sooner. Thank you to everyone who participated in the server test session. It was exciting to see all the love for the game and the great feedback that was shared. Coming out of that, we are excited to say that we will launch our pre-season on May 21st on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. Pre-season will last 6 weeks before going into our seasonal cadence. Now, there's then this graphic which will pop up on screen that's showing essentially everything that's going to be in the game at launch. Now, this is pretty much everything that was just in pretty much all the playtests, even the ones back in June or July last year. So if you guys played those playtests, or also the most recent one that was just a few weeks ago, the content we had in those versions of the game is what we're going to be launching with. It would have been cool to see a few more weapons, because to be honest, there's not that many weapons in this game, at least early on anyway, but they do go on a little bit later to talk about what we're getting, and there is a lot more weapons on the way. So I would have liked to see a few more weapons, but yeah, it's still enough content for me. We're getting 14 maps, 5 factions, 5 game modes, 24 weapons. For a free shooter, I think that is definitely acceptable. It maybe just feels a little bit annoying because we have obviously played it, so it doesn't feel new to us, but at the end of the day, this is the launch of the game, and I think that is a perfectly fair amount of launch content. Now, they pretty much list off every single thing in that graphic. It says the game will have the pre-season content that was included in the server test session. For the factions, there is Echelon, Phantoms, Cleaners, Libertad, and DedSec. It says here it's available after unlocking or purchasing, so I'd imagine this is going to be in the Battle Pass or something. I'm not too sure. I do find that a little bit weird that they're launching one of the factions as an unlockable faction. I could understand that for like future factions, but the fact we've already played DedSec is kind of weird that they're making them unlockable. And I won't lie, I don't love the fact that you can purchase them, because it's definitely not pay to win. I don't think DedSec is any better than the other factions, but yeah, I don't love the fact that it says you can purchase this. I don't think that's pay to win, but it definitely doesn't sound good, and I think a lot of people will probably take that as pay to win, even though it's not really the case. But at least we can obviously still unlock them anyway, and hopefully it just doesn't take long at all, making it kind of pointless to purchase anyway. In terms of the maps, we have Arena, Attica Heights, Dumbo, Echelon HQ, Emporium, Liberty, Mayday, Meltdown, Midway, Noodleplex, Pueblito, Showtime, Times Square, and Zoo. So again, these are all maps that have been available in all of the previous playtests. And as for modes, we've got Domination, Hotshot, Occupy, Escort, and Zone Control. So once again, if you guys have played those playtests, you will have played most of those modes. Yeah, all of that is pretty basic, but this is where it starts to get pretty exciting. It says there is a new ranked mode practice playlist. Now, obviously this is launching in pre-season, and it said it'll last 6 weeks. And then season 1 will seemingly start around the end of June or the start of July. And so instead of it being an actual ranked mode, because obviously it's pre-season, it's kind of weird to do ranked in pre-season, it's going to be a practice mode. So it's essentially going to have everything that ranked will have without the actual ranks. Now, I know that sounds dumb, but I'm actually kind of keen for that, to just have a practice ranked mode where hopefully it's got skill-based matchmaking, so it's actually like competitive matches. It says here that it's going to be 4v4 competitive matches instead of 6v6, and they've removed Hotshot from the ranked playlist, which makes sense. That is essentially just like kill confirmed from Call of Duty, which wouldn't really lend itself that well to being in a ranked mode. So the ranked mode will have 4v4 versions of Domination, Occupy, Escort, and Zone Control. And yeah, like I said, this will be just a practice one for the first 6 weeks, which I'm kind of keen for. I'm keen to just see how the ranked mode plays if they do implement skill-based matchmaking even in the practice one, and just kind of get used to how that's going to feel. A little bit more sweaty, a little bit more competitive, and then come season 1 we can actually try and start to grind our rank, which I'm actually pretty keen for with this game. It also says that rewards unlocked during the server test session and the insider sessions will be available at launch. So if you guys played and got to, I think it was level 18 in the most recent playtest, there were some rewards you could get. I didn't quite get there because I didn't have the time to get to level 18, but yeah, if you guys have played the previous playtest, there is going to be some stuff stuff we get for free for having played those. Now, this is where it gets really exciting. It says in terms of the future, as a reminder, we have an exciting year one ahead of us with new content coming every single season. After our 6-week preseason, XDefiant will have a seasonal cadence every 3 months. The community can expect new weapons, maps, events, and a new faction. In total, year one will include an additional 4 factions, 12 weapons, and 12 maps, which that is actually pretty interesting to hear. 12 weapons sounds pretty standard. I think that's completely fair, but 12 maps is actually a lot of maps in my opinion. Keep in mind, I'm coming from having played a lot of Battlefield 2042 where we were getting 1 map per season, and one of the seasons lasted 5 months. So 3 maps per season is pretty exciting, and that essentially means we're going to be getting a map every single month, as well as probably a new weapon every single month, and then every 3 months we'll get a faction. They then also showed this roadmap sort of graphic here with season 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they've given the code names for the factions that are launching, those being Ruby, Buzz, Orchid, and Horde. Now, these are obviously going to be other Ubisoft titles, or I guess factions from other titles that are going to be included in this game. If you guys have any idea what Ruby, Buzz, Orchid, or Horde could be sure to leave a comment down below and let me know. Off the top of my head, I can't really think of any that immediately feel linked to those names, but I'm sure some of you more diehard Ubisoft players will probably know what they could be. So let me know down below. As you can see there too, it also says we get 90 tiers in the battle pass, so that's essentially 1 tier per day, considering this is a 3-month season each season. And then down the bottom as well, they say there is new arena and progression modes that'll be coming, so that's not also included in that graphic in terms of what we're getting. We're getting weapons and maps and factions, but there are going to be new modes. There's going to be the ranked mode, there's going to be private matches, which is very exciting to see. Player protection, which is essentially going to be anti-cheat, I'm assuming, that says ongoing work to keep the competition fair. And then it says comfort features, welcome list for beginners, and practice zone. So for those who don't know what that means, I think they said from level 1 to 25, or I can't really remember, but there's going to be skill-based matchmaking when you first play the game, and that's not because they want that in there. It's essentially to keep it fair for anyone who is genuinely new. So it will probably be very sweaty when we first start playing the game. Once we're over level 25, which realistically will only take like a couple days, I'd imagine, then the skill-based matchmaking will be removed. There may even be, I think, the option to stop that earlier by just joining the like non-beginner mode. So I think that's a good idea if anyone wants skill-based matchmaking. They don't want to get stomped if they're new to the game and stuff like that. I think that's a good feature to have, but also I am definitely keen to play a shooter for the first time in a long time without any skill-based matchmaking, because it just feels like every game these days is pretty much riddled with it, which I can understand, but yeah, it's going to be a breath of fresh air, that's for sure. But that is pretty much it for all of the news, guys. It is very exciting that we finally have got a launch date. It's been nearly a year now since I first ever played this game in that initial beta, and yeah, it's just kind of crazy that we're actually finally getting this game. There is going to be so much content on this channel, guys. I've already this morning, just before making this video, I've planned out 3 to 4 videos per week in the lead up to launch, and then there'll be the same cadence after launch as well. We're going to be doing a heap of like weapon breakdowns and Mythbusters and all that kind of stuff. There's going to be so much on the channel, so keep your eyes peeled for that. One thing I want you guys to let me know as well, or actually 2 things. Would you guys be interested in seeing a top 5 plays series for XDefiant? If you would, please do leave a comment down below and let me know, just because I have to obviously gauge everyone's interest in that, because I can't make the series without people submitting clips. So if you would be interested in that, be sure to leave a comment down below. If you see other comments that are saying the same thing, leave a like on those comments, so obviously I can tell if there's comments that get like 50 likes, like I'm clearly going to be able to tell the people are interested in that. The second thing I wanted to mention as well is I'm going to be doing a video answering your questions about the game, maybe for any of you who didn't get to play any of the betas or just want to hear my opinion on certain elements of the game. So if you have any questions about the game too, I would love for you guys to leave a comment down below, and in probably a week or 2 from now, I'll be doing a video which is pretty much going to be a Q&A, just answering all the questions you guys give and giving you guys some insight into the game for maybe some of you who haven't played yet. But that is going to do it for this one, guys. Very excited to finally have a launch date for XDefiant. Like I said, keep your eyes peeled for plenty more content on the channel. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you all out there in the arena.